welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be continuing on with the role quest. So right now we're moving on to the magical DPS role quest, and we're going to be heading back to Ishgard, our aching souls. The Ishgardian delegate seeks a battle mage with courage unwavering. My Lady Claire, I've awaited your coming. The phenomenon wherein men turn into monsters. It pains to say that Ishgard has not been spared. A dread blasphemy has appeared in the Holy See, and to compound the people's horror, the beast resembles a dragon. 'Tis imperative that it be vanquished without delay, and to that end we have begun assembling a hunting party. Given that fear and despair may turn our allies against us, we are being stringent in whom we choose for this duty. Yet, while we have confidence in the quality of our knights, the mission would greatly benefit for the presence of a battle mage, one who can stand unflinching in the face of our fell quarry. We would be hard-pressed to find an individual who fits the description better than you. Will you not lend us your strength and skill? Well, you can count on me. It's not like I can say no now. You're in your debt. Just a moment while I relay the glad tidings to command. Just settled. Upon arriving Ishgard, please take yourself to the Aetheryte Plaza. Lord Ortael will be there to receive you. May the Fury speed your way. Oh, we get to see Ortael! I'm going to thank you once more for agreeing to aid us in our efforts to vanquish the Blasphemy. Least you forget, upon arriving in Ishgard, yeah, I got that part. But we're going to get to see Sir Emmerich again, and apparently we're going to be fighting alongside Ortael. I really hope so. I really like Ortael. Between the three brothers, of course, Haurchefant's my favorite, and then there's Ortael, and Emmanuel, I guess he's just there. I have no idea, like, how they could all be just so vastly different from each other. Well, now that I think about it, maybe it isn't that surprising. Anyway, I've been really looking forward to this. And hello! Claire, I've been expecting you. Words cannot well express how heartening it is to have you fighting beside us. Allow me to echo that sentiment. Emmerich! And he just appears out of nowhere. I love it. Greetings, my friend. Least you wonder, Lord Ortael and I are leading the effort to deal with the Blasphemy. With your capable self in the fold, I have no doubt that we shall succeed. It's been a while. Without further ado, I shall brief you on the situation. 'Twas a handful of days after the first beast appeared at Radz-at-Han. An Elysian man was observed at the hoplon in the pillars, walking with an unsteady gait. All of a sudden, he buckled over as if in pain, and before anyone knew what was happening, he had transformed into a terrible, draconic beast. Oh, I remember him from the main scenario. At the mere sight of this, many who chanced to be present also turned, and regrettably the temple knights were forced to put them down. The blasphemy itself, however, took wing and fled. Profane Fenrir, we have chosen to call it, after the dragon man of Ishgardian myth. Since that day, the beast has often been sighted in the skies above Ishgard. It does not attack, only circles menacingly for a time ere disappearing again. Alas, these brief visitations are enough to cause more people to turn, and for fear and panic to spread further. As part of our investigation, we have sought to identify the man who became the Blasphemy, but thus far we have learned naught. We have, however, identified a common thread between those who subsequently turned. All were people of fervent faith, people such as priests and inquisitors. Interesting, that. When the truth of our nation's history was laid bare, the legitimacy of the church was called into question. Many Ishgardians struggled to reconcile with the revelations with their beliefs, and none more so than the pious. Such men and women, we posit, would be more susceptible to despair, and therefore the transformation. We must find a way to stop it. Ishgard has only just emerged from a 1,000-year war, and we cannot suffer another great tragedy, much less so soon. In order to attain a better understanding of the situation, we intend to speak with a member of the clergy. The sole individual who survived witnessing the Blasphemy's birth without being turned. Clem is his name, and he is a deacon at Saint Raymond's Cathedral. Come, let us seek him out there at once. Alright! So we have a sole survivor who might be able to give us some kind of information. But it's really not a surprise. I mean, people... their faith has been completely turned upside down. Like, ever since the revelation of the true origins of the Dragon Song War, their faith is shaken. So I guess they've... oh man, I can't really talk right now. But I remember they did a whole quest line about this. About how the people who are in the church really been suffering because of it. Here he is, Deacon Clem. Let us see what he can tell us. Not so very long ago, few would have imagined Ishgardian knights marching beyond the bounds of their own dominion. But we have ventured into the heart of Galamal and fought for no less than the fate of the world itself. Our nation has changed and continues to do so. Well, he seems like a nice-looking guy. Lord Emmerich, Lord Artael, and the Savior of Ishgard besides, you do me great honor. I am Clem, and I serve as a deacon here at Saint Raymond's Cathedral. I understand you were among those at the Hoplon when the incident occurred. We give thanks to the Fury for your merciful preservation. We now seek to prevent the blasphemy from wreaking further havoc and would appreciate any details you can provide. Loath that we are to make you recount unpleasant memories, will you not recount to us what you witnessed that day? Very well. We are presently relocating the vault's libraries to the cathedral, in case you were unaware. We have finished delivering a batch of tomes, and we're on our way to bring over another. As we approached the Hoplon, we noticed a young man walking unsteadily. No sooner had he come to an abrupt halt than he transformed into a draconic beast. The fiend fixed us with a menacing glare, and it was all we could do to find our wits and flee. But to my compounding horror, my brethren who were with me began turning into monstrosities as well, one after another. Praise the Fury that you, at least, were spared, Deacon Clem. I cannot imagine how frightening the experience must have been. Who's that? Bishop Varnox. Forgive me if I interrupt. I was informed that our stalwart protectors were present and wish to express my gratitude. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service. I pray that we shall soon be free of this scourge. Indeed, if there is aught we might do to aid your efforts, you need but say it. You are most kind, Your Grace. That was abrupt. That was Bishop Varnox, the head of St. Raymond's and a member of the Synod. With the seat of the Archbishop vacant, he is, in effect, the highest authority in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. This is so. In spite of his elevated station, he remains as kind and humble a man as I have ever known. Like his grace, I would do all that I can to help shepherd our people through this uncertain time. To that end, there is a request I would make of you, if you can spare a moment to consider it. Of course, if it's within our power, we should be glad to offer you aid. Thank you. What's this request? I'm suspicious. The deacon was no less terrified by the blasphemy than his peers, yet he alone did not turn. By what grace was he spared? I have an idea. What manner of request could this be? His tone bespeaks urgency. In the wake of the transformations, a group of clergymen fled the city in fear. Yet, though they sought refuge in the wilderness, they put themselves at the mercy of the elements and fell fiends both. Given that the cause of the transformation is not clear, I think theirs was a decidedly unwise decision. I wish to set out and find them, but I am not trained in the ways of war. As such, I require those who are to accompany me in the search. So that is the way of it. Suffice it to say, we will help. Do you know whether your fellows may have headed? The Western Highlands, I believe. Between Gorgamay Mills and Hemlock, there is no shortage of abandoned dwellings in the area. Very well. The time being of the essence, I propose that we split up and scour separate areas. Claire, if you could escort the good deacon to Gorgamay Mills, Lord Artael and I will tend to Hemlock. Well, that's not a very wise decision. I mean, going out into the wilderness on your own? I mean, if you aren't torn apart by wild animals, you're gonna freeze to death. I mean, do these guys know anything about surviving out in the wilderness? I honestly need to know. So, wondering how the deacon, Clem, was able to avoid transforming into a monster. I got one of two theories. One of which is that he's secretly evil and he wants these transformations to happen. It could happen. Or two, I would say something like his faith in the Fury, it kept him from giving in to despair. Like, he believed that she would protect him and that's what protected him. So it's gotta be one of those two things. But yeah, it was not a smart idea to come out here all on your own. It's nice to see this area again. If only there was more than just the one aetheryte out here. It's a pain having to cross over it. Oh, it's been so long since I was last here. Oh, it brings back so many memories. Ironic that a place that was once used as a hideout for the heretics is where the clergymen are kind of hiding out in. Well, don't see any clergymen yet. But you know what I mean. Nothing yet. Ah! There they are! That you should choose to abide in such harsh conditions. You! Ah, I see you found them. Yes, and none the worse for the wear. Thank the Fury. My friends, forgive us if we have given cause for alarm. We come out of concern for your well-being. Though we understand why you quit the city, we fear you may have placed yourselves at greater risk by coming here. His Grace Bishop Varinox too worries for your health and prays for your swift return. So please, will you not allow us to escort you to the Holy See? I assure you, you will be much safer there than in this wretched place. Servants of the Fury will never be safe in the city, don't you see? This is your fault! You and your accursed revolution! The people disdain us, mock us behind our backs, and spit in our faces! And now someone is conspiring to transform us into monstrosities, enemies of the church, I wager, emboldened by your deeds. So no, I will not go back to Ishgard. I'd sooner freeze to death than suffer your pity. Oh no. What? All I have ever done was in service to her. I am a good man. I do not... She cannot forsake me! Aloni preserve! Claire, we cannot allow him to harm any others. Give chase and do what you must. We will remain here and keep the others calm. Deacon Clem, please do what you can to reassure them. Yes, of course. Do not worry about us. See to the beast. It can't have gotten far. All shall be well, my friends. Come, join me in prayer. Wow, that was completely unexpected, but at the same time, very touching. Like, that's very realistic what he would have said. I don't know why, I'm just kind of blown away by that. Under attack. Will of the Archbishop is absolute. The wicked shall be punished. Well, it's not their fault. You can't really blame them because, I mean, they're pretty much hated. They're being treated like accomplices. And most of them probably had no idea about the true history or anything. Like, only a selected few really high up in the church knew about any of this. So you can't really blame them for being angry. Is it done, Claire? My thanks. What happened is most regrettable, but we must be grateful that no one else came to harm. While you were gone, the deacon was able to convince the others to return to the city. Let us escort them back at once, and then reconvert at the congregation to consider our next course of action. For our purposes, we have the use of the strategy room. Announce yourself to the guard without, and he will show you in. Yeah, this is not going to be easy. I mean, the church was such an important part of the Ishgardians' lives. Like, out of everybody, like all the other nations here, Ishgard was by far the most devout, I guess we could call it. And, I mean, it probably just turned the heads of so many people, turned their worlds upside down. But while I understand the people's anger, they're kind of redirecting it at the wrong people. Most of the people in the church are victims too. Like, their faith was probably just shaken to the core. So it's going to be kind of tricky for them to come to an understanding. I mean, I definitely agree that changes in the church have to be made. And Ishgard is no longer run by the church, though. So that's the thing. The church and the government are now two separate things. So that's a good start. But as for the rest of it, they're really going to have to figure out a way to you know, take responsibility, but at the same time, not punish those who weren't responsible. I guess it's the best way that we can try to describe it. But let's head back to the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly. And we'll wrap things up there real quick. Go. I love being able to travel like side by side with Sir Emmerich and Artael, though. I really do. Lord Emmerich and Artael await you within the strategy room. Will you be joining them now? Yes, I will. So are we going back into his office? Oh no! I don't think I've seen this room! Oh wow! It's simple, but I like it. Better enjoy it now while we can. Oh my god, it's like the two different maps of Eorzea. Here we shall discuss our plans to deal with the blasphemy. Whensoever you wish to enter, you need but say so to the guard. Okay, and Artael. Lest you wonder, we have taken the clergymen to Saints Raymonauds to rest and recover. Truth be told, the thought that they may still succumb to despair in turn remains at the forefront of my mind. Yet the risk would be greater still were we to keep them at arm's length and deny them the comfort of the church. Indeed, from the words he spoke, that Inquisitor yearned for the days of old. He and others like him can scarcely be blamed. Since the truth of the nation's founding and the Archbishop's machinations were made public knowledge, the Church has been in turmoil. Though we have made great strides in separating religion and state, there has been far less progress in the reformation of the Church. For our faith has been everything to us, our purpose and our comfort. It is not an easy thing to reconcile one's belief with the betrayal of our spiritual leaders. Thus torn between their hearts and minds, many Ishgardians feel lost, and none more so than the members of the clergy, whose faith was once unshakable. Little wonder then that the most dedicated and devout are like to turn. So it seems, but further investigations is needed ere we draw a definite conclusion. With the war's end, Ishgard has set out on a new path. The choices we make now shall determine our course for the future. Come what may, we dare not squander the chance we have fought so hard to attain. Once the returned clergymen have sufficiently calmed down, I shall have the deacon speak with them, that we might gain insight into their individual plights. Good. Meanwhile, I shall take the opportunity to brief my men on recent developments. Take a moment's rest, my friend. You have earned it. When you are ready to continue our work, you may seek us out here. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to try to solve. I mean, I think that nothing short of building up like the church again is really going to solve the problem. But I guess that's going to be it. The next one is no forgiveness, no deliverance. Interesting. Looking forward to that. But I guess that's going to be it for right now. We're going to have to wait until we're at least level 86 to continue. I really like where this is going so far. It's so nice to see these characters again. Until next time, everyone, take care.